Well, Mark, frustrating afternoon here at the Moss Rose. What are your initial thoughts?
I'm obviously disappointed to lose, Bob. I thought we started the game really well. I thought we started on the front foot, especially in the conditions with the elements and playing against a really tough breeze. So I was really happy with how we started the game in terms of our play, in terms of how we got into good areas and good opportunities in the final third, especially with our midfielders, with the types of balls, types of runs we were making. Ultimately, when we got into those areas, we didn't really hurt Salford. But I thought we were in control of the game, especially under the circumstances. But a little bit of a sob story in terms of the first goal. I think if we're all being honest, the lads cut inside and put potentially a good cross in, which ends up going in the top corner. So that was unfortunate. Second goal was bitterly disappointing goal. There was a soft goal from us, a poor goal, and unfortunately after that, with the strength of Salford and who they are and how they play, it was always going to be difficult. But I'll put my head on the chop block here. I actually really fancied us in the second half, especially understand the elements and how difficult it is, especially playing downhill with the wind. I thought it'd be a really, really tough half for them, and if we could get a goal, I thought it would change the dimensions of the game. But actually, my biggest disappointment is the second half just completely fizzled out. If I'm manager of Salford at 2-0, it's up to us to come and break them down and cause them problems and create situations for them. And I didn't really feel like we did that in the second half. We've hit the post, we've had one cleared off the line, I know, but I think if I'm Graham watching the game, I don't think he'd have been too nervous. And what disappointed me is I thought the lads, for all their energy and hard work and their honesty, I thought they let their heads drop in the second half, which was disappointing. I'm not sure they believed they could get back into it, so that was disappointing.
That was actually what my next question was, Mark, because up until that first goal, we seemed to be playing with quite a degree of freedom. When that first goal went in, it was almost as if we went inside ourselves, and that freedom was restricted. Is that something you'd agree with?
I didn't feel it was like that at all in the first half, but I thought second half, once it got around to the 55th minute mark and the first 10 minutes, we hadn't really laid a glove on Salford aggressively, if you like. I thought then I could see in the body language of our players there was a little bit of a lack of belief. I'm chatting there openly with our staff. The first goal in League Two is so important. It's vitally important. I'd love to see the stats on teams to get the opening goal, on the results after that, and in our 11 games, I could be wrong, but I think we've taken the lead twice. So we seem to always be giving ourselves a mountain to climb in terms of getting back into games, and because of who we are and where we are, it's always going to be difficult for us. But in terms of being positive from what I've seen in the first half, I said to the guys, if you play like that, and that's your level and that's your standard, taking a really lucky first goal out, you'll win games of football. And we have games coming up, certainly, which we'll really fancy a chances in.
You've always said to me, Mark, that goals tend to be as a result somewhere of mistakes. Did that first goal break that rule?
Yeah. What I would say is, Bob, if I'm being honest, I spoke to the players before the game. I talked to individuals about, so for example, Richie Towell's right-footed. If he's playing on the left, or Darren Gibson, if whoever's the left-sided midfielder in the middle of the park, you've got to show him outside constantly. You can't let him come inside. So I watched Cheltenham during the week play Northampton, really liked the 11, good player, gets the ball down the left side. I'm thinking, show him outside. Northampton let him come inside, bang goal. And I'm sat there with Butts going, bloody hell, if our lads did that, we'd be going balmy. So what I would say in terms of, yes, it was a lucky goal, but you've got to make him play down the outside of the pitch. We've got to create a situation where he can't come inside, and our lads don't have that opportunity. We discussed at half time maybe changing our wing backs over so we could check back and put balls in. We were just worried it would hamper us in other areas, but it was a lucky goal. But you know what, he's got good technique, good quality, check back, he's put a fantastic ball. The one thing I will say to our lads, make sure it's inside the back post, because you've got a chance of going in, and that's just a little bit the way the luck is for us at the minute.
I guess, as you also alluded to previously, the second goal wasn't lucky, was it?
No, it was a poor goal. Really, it was a soft goal. I'm not going to stand here, and it was a really, really soft goal. And I thought Salford play the elements a lot better to us. If you look at the header from Fraser, he's in the air jumping backwards, he's only ever going to head it in front of him, and it was little things like that they did much better than us in terms of where they put the ball, the weight of pass, the type of balls they put. I said to Fraser how many times in the first half are you heading the ball away from goal but on the back foot? So we give them a little bit of credit, but then beyond that, Fraser heads it down, we don't react to the second ball quick enough, and actually the guy gets in behind Fraser because he's out of shape a little bit through no fault of his own. So I couldn't quite see the finish because of the bodies, I just seen the net nestle. So definitely a poor goal.
In terms of the substitutions which you made today, were they really, your way of saying we need to put more pressure on Salford defence? Yeah,
look, at the end of the day, you can't just. I thought the second half fizzled out, which really disappointed me because we made several changes in terms of our shape. I thought we were really aggressive towards the middle part of the second half. We went literally, 5-2-3, left 3 up front, tried to make it work. We've ended up finishing with 4 at the back and changing things around. So, Albert Einstein said, if you keep making the same mistakes and expecting different results, it's the first sign of madness or insanity. So we have to do something to try and change it. Unfortunately, sometimes when you do it, it works, and today it didn't really affect anything, but we tried several things in terms of personnel, changing shape, different formations, but what we did try didn't come off today. There was no progression through what we tried today.
In terms of game management, do you think we're a nice team?
Yeah, we're the nicest team in the world. We're an incredibly young team. I think somebody sent me a statistic recently about us. I think in terms of under 23s minutes played in the 92 clubs in the league, I think we're top by a mile, by a considerable distance. We are a very, very young team. I'd love to say we'll be better for it and we learn as we go along, we'll develop and we'll progress, but we haven't really got time for that. We are building as we go along. And ironically, for the guys in the background working for Salford, in terms of youngest team minutes, they're bottom of the league and we're top.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show you the difference. The one thing I thought they did fantastically well today is the dark arts of football, and I compliment them on that. I wish we were doing that. The keeper would come, pick the ball up, nobody near him, he'd fall on the ground and take 10 seconds out of the game. I could never criticise anybody for that. Maybe criticise the referee for letting him away with it. But we are really, really nice. I think Shiloh got tackled in the box in the first half, and I'm thinking, look, we openly said we don't want anybody diving, but if somebody touches me in the box and it's a foul, we were criticising the lines on the side because we were saying it's a foul, he's fouled him, he's just stayed on his feet. I'm not going to talk about the Forest Green Centre, but people in their box, you touch them, they go down. It's little things like that. I thought they managed the game fantastically well in the second half. They looked like a group of men. With, I'm saying after the game, has anybody I didn't see anybody speaking to the referee about it or getting on to about the minutes and that. We're falling out with the fourth official constantly. We've just a load to do. But we are a young team, and you can see that in terms of experience on the pitch. There's no doubt about that.
You turned to the dark arts of the game. Is that something which you can teach, or is it intuition in a way, especially with the team as you said, so young?
Yeah, sorry Bob, I've half interrupted you. I think it comes with experience and understanding. When I look at teams play, I don't want to talk about today, but the amount of times I watched Northampton last week against Cheltenham. They're brilliant at it. Ball goes down the side of them. Their defender's running back towards his own goal. He's got nowhere to go. And Butch sat beside me, said 100% I guarantee he goes down. Fella puts his finger on, bang, down, free kick. Just understanding the game. That comes with experience. I get that. What I would say about us, we're an incredibly honest team. Too honest. I'm not saying other teams are dishonest, because they're not. They're just experience and understand the game and how Salford today, second half, we're in no hurry to take throw-ins. I don't blame them, they're 2-0 up. Whereas their lads are probably sprinting off to get the ball and get it back into play. Just little things like that. We are, wouldn't like to call us naive, but we certainly lack experience in that. But when you look at the average age of the team and what it is, I think every week our average age is 23, so that will come with time.
And just finally, Mark, we've got a big trek down, a massive trek in fact, down to Plymouth next week against another top team. The good news is, obviously, we've got no midweek fixture. What are the things you'll be focusing on this week in training ahead of that game?
I don't want to give too much away, Bob, but we have a clear game plan already before we played Plymouth. I could have told you 2 weeks ago what my game plan was and what we want to do, so we'll work pretty hard on doing that and with the personnel and how we want to go about the game. But you know, I'm not gonna come on here and tell everybody what we're going to do, but we're very clear on what we want to do next week, how we're going to play and how we're going to approach the game. And the lack of midweek game will give us an opportunity to do that. So we're really pleased about that.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Bob.